Shalom. Tonight we will continue talking about commandments of Yeshua, and our topic is pagan anxiety. Pagan anxiety. Why is it pagan? How bad is anxiety? Well, we know that anxiety is terrible, right? But to what extent is anxiety a bad thing? Let us learn a lesson from our teacher. But before we start learning, we will summarize some of the previous findings. So what we found was, number one, our righteousness should be practiced secretly, so we should not advertise it. Number two, we have to focus on praises and ask for our spiritual needs. And also, we have to choose to worship God or to worship money. This is what we found so far. And now let's open Yeshua's teaching and find something very interesting. God is the one who provides. This is the first point. I would like to read Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 for you. So I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Isn't life more than food, and the body more than clothing? The pericope begins with so, or another translation could be for this reason. And obviously we do not begin our phrases like this. We typically say therefore or for this reason when we connect these words which we just said with something previously said. And this therefore, it connects our topic with previously said words. As it was observed, we have to choose to worship God or to worship money. Therefore, and this key phrase connects the Yeshua's teaching about anxiety with worshiping money. What to eat and to drink or what to wear is about our salary. So we have to choose to worship God or worship money, and then Yeshua says, therefore. It's important to notice. One American psychologist observed, don't think that when you get rich, you will stop worrying. You should change your mind today, because if today you worry about a piece of bread, tomorrow you will worry about yachts. A non-canonical book of Sirach, chapter 30, verse 24 reads, jealousy and anger shorten life, and anxiety brings on old age too soon. Anxiety in Yeshua's teaching is not just some general type of anxiety, but rather it is anxiety about financial stability. It's not just because we worry, and we don't know why we worry. This is about our financial future. And here are the words of our teacher. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or gather into barns, yet your Father in heaven feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? These words contain serious question. Are the birds lucky to find their food? Or maybe they are blessed to receive the food? It's a very important question, and it's a very important choice. We have to choose the type of our philosophy. You see, we find that the birds receive their food from the Father. They're not just hunting. They're not just gathering. Do we have rain because water evaporates, or because the Father sends it to the earth? Do we enjoy the sunrise because the earth just is revolving or because God commands the morning. If the birds find their food by chance, then you should worry about your chance. If the birds receive their food from God, then you should worship God, not chance, and stop worrying. Fortunately, I got my salary. Probably you heard words like this. Fortunately. Have you heard this? Of course. The word fortunate has its origins in Latin. It comes from the Latin word fortunatus, which means prosperous or lucky. The Latin word is derived from fortuna. In ancient Roman mind, Fortuna was the goddess of luck, fate, and fortune. So, fortunately, do we receive our salary fortunately, or because we are blessed? And why do you worry about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his glory clothed himself like one of these. Our value is bigger than the value of the birds and the flowers. Although Solomon put in a lot of effort, he couldn't come close to matching the beauty of flowers. Yeshua continues, now, if in this way God clothes the grass, which is here today and thrown into the furnace tomorrow, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Again, Yeshua uses the principle of comparison. Actually, it's a formal argument known as Kal Vachomer, the argument from the minor to the major, or from light to heavy. And this is a very important principle used by rabbis. And this principle tells us, if minor is true, then the major is true also. Now, knowing this principle, let's read the text one more time. Now, if in this way God clothes the grass, which is here today and thrown into the furnace tomorrow, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? In other words, if something is very small and God takes care for that, and by the way, this small thing is more glorious than Solomon in his glory, then Yeshua says, even more, the Father will protect you and be with you. But like I said, it's important to answer a question. Did we receive our money and our things which we have fortunately because of fortuna, or we received everything we have as blessings of God? And now let's talk about pagan anxiety. Why do I say pagan? Let's read together. Matthew chapter 6, and we are reading verses 31 and 32. Therefore, do not worry, saying, what will we eat? Or what will we drink? Or what will we wear? For the pagans eagerly pursue all these things. Yet your Father in heaven knows that you need all of these. These words are shocking. Very often readers of the Gospels, they just overlook them. Let us look closely. I would like to highlight two important things. Number one, Yeshua gives a commandment. He commands, do not worry. This is his commandment. And this is a part of the new covenant. If we are in his covenant, we should receive this commandment and do this commandment. After that, Yeshua asserts, and this is number two, that the pagans pursue the material things whereas the father takes care for his children. Terrible. Why? Because if you worry, then you are pagan. If you trust your father and if you follow the commandment of Yeshua, then you are a child of heaven. Now a difficult question. Do I worry? Friends, frankly, I do worry. Am I concerned about my financial stability? Yes, I am. But Yeshua says, if you're a pagan, it's, okay to worry. But if you're a child of God, then you should stop worrying and start worshiping and trusting. And here is our practice. Is it easy to say stop worrying, stop being pagan? It's not easy. But the question is, how to do that? Yeshua answers, but seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Yeshua commands to seek two things. Number one, the kingdom, and number two, the righteousness. And if a disciple does this commandment, then anxiety will not have its power if we are seeking for the kingdom of God and His righteousness. If we do this constantly. You see, previously, last time we talked about money and about worshiping God and money. And Yeshua explicitly said you cannot worship or serve two masters. Yeshua said that we had to choose one. If we choose money, we will be anxious and anxiety will devour us. If we choose God, we will worship Him, trust Him, and we will overcome any anxiety. This is what Yeshua teaches us to do. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Yeshua offers carefree life. It's amazing. This is an alternative way of life. This is not how people live today. This doesn't mean do not contribute to your retirement plan. No, contribute. Please do this. This doesn't mean do not work. Please work. But anxiety should not take place in your life. This means trusting God, who provides, and seeking His kingdom as means to overcome anxiety.